You know, Saimin is such a part of our culture. It's even available at McDonald's in Hawaii. Tell me where you can get quarter pounder with cheese, chicken McNuggets, large fries, Saimin noodles, Portuguese sausage, eggs and rice, and a fruit punch. I just named my usual order right there. What's up, everybody? Sheldon Simeon, all the way from Maui, Hawaii, of Tin Roof Restaurants and Lineage. So we are doing Saimin, and that's kind of Hawaii's version of ramen noodles. And we're gonna start off with the broth. Our friend, the pressure cooker, I love it because it gets a lot of flavor in such a short time. Saimin is found nowhere else other than Hawaii. It's like our comfort. I ate Saimin every morning. I didn't even know what cereal was growing up. The dish is super simple. It's noodles, broth, fish cake, and some green onions. Those components need to be super flavorful. The base of the dish is usually some type of protein. Here's just some pork ribs. Just find the most biggest chicken that you can find that's gonna awkwardly not fit into a pressure cooker. We're gonna cover that up with some water. We're not gonna be using the chicken, but it's gonna be flavoring the broth, but the chicken's in there with the pork, and then they're marrying together. So you can gnaw on that. Put the lid on. Just wanna extract as much flavor from those. Make sure it's not venting. We'll turn it on too high. Once it starts to sputter, we'll turn it down just a little bit and let that go for 45 minutes. Meanwhile, we're gonna chop up the veggies. They're Japanese because all these different cultures and ethnicities all came together to influence this dish. Kombu, just some dried kelp, has a lot of umami. It's gonna flavor our broth. Some dried shiitake in there. We're gonna add some dried shrimp. We're gonna just chop up some carrot, chop up some ginger. Just use the white part of a leek. Just gonna chop that up. Making a stock. I'm gonna take some garlic, just gonna pound them on the board just to open them up. In one of the episodes of Top Chef, somebody was asking me a question. I was doing this and my knife blade was up like this. And I took it out like this. And once they see blood, they'll stop everything. So I just put my hand down like this. I just continued on. That's a good one. So now this bad boy's been going on for 45 minutes. We'll let this go and then we can strain it out and marry it with our vegetables. I can actually feel it raining down on me. We wanted dramatic and we have dramatic. I'm gonna run this underwater. Okay, that's cooled off. Take out the chicken and save that for another dish later. We'll strain out this broth. And I'm gonna add all my vegetables to that and let that steep for another 45 minutes. While that steeps, we're gonna marinate some beef. And we're making beef barbecue sticks. This is the perfect side dish to Saimin noodles. A lot of these Saimin houses has been open in Hawaii for 70 to 100 years. You can judge a good Saimin house by their barbecue stick. Some Saimin places has chicken. I always prefer the beef. So this is my version of it. Hawaii style teriyaki marinade. In my books, this is always how it goes. Equal parts soy sauce to sugar. Hawaii Japanese cooking, very sweet compared to what you'll find in Japan. And the reason for that, back in the day, a lot of the ingredients wasn't available, so they had to go with the flavor profile that they knew. And the one that they could replicate was the sweet side of the Japanese culture, soy sauce. We'll mix that together. A little bit of mirin. That's all mixed up. Just for some aromatics, I'm gonna add ginger. We're not gonna be eating the ginger, so no need to peel it. Some garlic that's been just smashed. And we're not gonna be eating the garlic. Oh, I made it. Take the roots off of this and just take the white parts. We'll save the green tops for garnish later. I'm gonna just bruise this up with the back of my knife. And that's gonna go in to there. Give that one little mix. I'm gonna take a couple spoons of this and reduce that down. And we're gonna use that to glaze our beef sticks. That just comes up to a boil. Let that go just a little bit more while it reduces and then it'll be done. I'll turn that off. That's reduced. Here we have some skirt steak. Just trim it off. I'll cut it into these bite-sized pieces just like this. You can use flank, you can use hanger, so long it's cut thin. If it gets a little too thick on the ends, take those and cut those in half. That's gonna go straight into our marinade. That's gonna go marinate for at least 4 hours. You can let it go overnight. And then we're gonna skewer it up. All right, our beef has been marinating for 4 hours. It's picked up all of that marinade. Got some bamboo skewers that's been in some water, just so that it doesn't burn. Leave a little bit on the edge so that you can turn them. Saimin's made up of two Chinese words. Sai meaning thin, min meaning noodle. And it's a perfect representation of the cultures in Hawaii. People came to the islands for many different reasons. First off, the Polynesians who discovered Hawaii adapted their culture to the island. Next wave were all the different ethnicities that came to work on the sugarcane fields. My grandparents were part of that, the Filipinos. The next ones that came through were the Japanese and Chinese, Koreans, Puerto Ricans. All of these all come together and have a huge influence on our food. I love it that get to celebrate all these different cultures. All right, we got enough for the grill pan. We got a well-seasoned cast iron grill pan. Our skewers are just gonna go down on there. I want this to be raging because we wanna get the nice color on top of it. The amount of sugar is gonna balance off that caramelization and that burnt just because it's so sweet against that little bit of char and bitterness. We're gonna cook this to a medium rare. Just took a peek. I don't wanna move those too much. We really wanna get that char on it. It's the smells, people. Enjoy it, live it. It's real. Look at that. That's already going off. It's nice and caramelized. We're gonna give a flip, and that's just gonna take a few more minutes on the other side. That's almost done, so I'm gonna get some scallions for some garnish. It's gonna be for both our Saimin and then a little bit of garnish on top of that. Those are perfect. You get them unstuck. We'll take the glaze that we reduced earlier, tap those on. We garnish with a little bit of green onions. We'll put the Saimin together now. So our broth has been steeping. We're gonna strain it out, get all of the vegetables out of it. While we're letting the water come up to a boil for our noodles, typically on the side, the Saimin is always served with hot mustard. This is just some dry Chinese hot mustard. We're just gonna add a little bit of water to it just to get it to its consistency. I'm definitely a fan of as much hot mustard as your nose can handle. That Chinese hot mustard is the influence of Chinese into this dish. Sometimes you can go out and seek for these perfect noodles. Fresh Saimin noodles is usually thinner, it's usually a little bit darker, and then a lot more chewier than your traditional ramen. But sometimes you can't get that, it's okay. Our old trusty friend, dry ramen packets. I grew up knowing this as Saimin noodles, but on the packet it said top ramen. Never figured it out as a kid. I thought I was illiterate for a long time. And I couldn't figure out why Saimin was spelled R-A-M-E-N. It did not make sense to me. Saimin noodles is very similar to ramen noodles. They're alkalized, that's able to withstand sitting in a broth and not being overcooked. 3 minutes. So we're gonna cut some fish cake, some kamaboko. This is pollock that's been mixed up and then steamed off. I don't know why it's always typically pink. What was that moment? Was Cameron around back in that time? When he made fish cake was invented? It's like, we're gonna do it pink, son. We're gonna make fish cake pink. Our broth, super hot and flavorful. I'm gonna add dashi powder. See that? I'm gonna add a touch of white pepper, not too much. It's gonna get in your nose. And then some soy sauce or some shoyu. Those last minute additions is gonna just up the umami to it all. Fish my noodles out on my pot. Add a little bit of fish cake, some green onion on top. Boom. Ramen's trendy. Saimin is for life. What's cool about Saimin in Hawaii. So you go into diners, they have it. You go into upscale restaurants, they have these upscale versions of it. When I'm away, it's something that I crave when I go back home. Every island has their Saimin house. You have Hamura Saimin, which actually has a James Beard in Kauai. We have Nori's over on the Big Island, Palace Saimin over in Oahu. But these places are iconic. They've been feeding families for years and years. We can hopefully continue the tradition of Saimin and share it with the world. This is how I do it. Chopsticks in one hand, hot mustard, shoyu in the other. I dip the back of the spoon in there. That's just enough. I get a little bit of soup in there and go in town. I'm right back home in Hawaii, even though we're in Brooklyn. For the recipe, click the link below and come see me in Hawaii.
Oh my god, I hear such a door.
Move the pan and move in it.